Hello viewers, welcome to our Q4 2020 recap video where we look back at the videos we made or tried to in the previous 3 months. And boy has this year been a pooperama. Last quarter we managed a mere 6 videos, which is still twice the minimum we guarantee to our patrons. This quarter we managed to up this to 9 videos, 3 per month, which isn't bad considering the UK saw its most stringent pandemic quarantine ever. Our first video of the quarter saw us preparing for the arrival of the long-awaited Innsmouth cycle by showing you the best way to brush up on the source material. Another one of those dark adventure radio theatre audio dramas from the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society. It had lots of great facts about the original book and its publication history, as well as a good look at the CD and all its bonus props, in addition to a discussion of the deluxe package with its complimentary hoodie. We finally finished off another cycle with pack 5 of the Dream Eaters, which was a whopping 19 minutes long and packed with all kinds of in-depth beginner-friendly explanations, as well as a super wacky intro sequence which we filmed earlier in the year. This video arrived 6 months after the final pack in the cycle Weaver of the Cosmos. Why is that? Well, you may not know, but we pride ourselves on 100% accuracy here at the Arkham Chronicle, which means every rule's interpretation has to be checked by the game's designer before it is allowed into one of our videos. This used to be a simple process, and we would get the answers before the product was released, usually the same day we asked the questions. But what with the global health crisis and FFG pumping out more products than ever before, these answers now take months to arrive, particularly if something is going to be included in a forthcoming FAQ, because we will usually be asked to wait until the new ruling is made public before we can put it in a video. So we have a choice going forward on if we want to delay coverage of the Mythos packs to pack in accurate card explanations or post timely videos that are simple unboxings. Let us know in the comments below if you have a preference. Speaking of in-depth coverage, we told you everything, literally everything we could think of about the once-in-a-lifetime Arkham Horror standalone. From its original inception as an April Fool's joke to why it wasn't a deluxe box product to the original unreleased artwork to all the foreign language versions. There was even a history lesson, not to mention a surrealist biscuit-themed title sequence. It had Hollywood actors, heads of state, dead writers, pet-themed gift, and the most incredible tales of heartwarming good deeds to pets and people who would benefit from the charitable donation this product provides. We are so proud of this video, as it is the epitome of everything an Arkham Chronicle video should be. We want this channel to be so much more than low-effort unboxings. Unfortunately, that's where things start to slide. As per usual, we began to break down the new deluxe box into separate preview videos that we could combine later into a comprehensive unboxing. We certainly shot plenty of material, but sadly only completed the investigator preview. The UK went into tighter lockdown and we couldn't gather in the same basement to make videos or play any games. Even our epic role-playing campaign of Fantasy Flight's Dark Heresy had to move online and then be paused altogether. So, what could one chap now locked in a basement achieve? Luckily, we had already shot most of the material for our Wrath and the Kai novel. Including our patented water testing, and Aconite were way more responsive than FFG when it came to answering our questions, of which there were many. And you know how we go crazy for the chance to explain to you how bookbinding works, right? So we drafted in Horace, the red-gloved man, and his germ-proof hand warmers, plus Bob, one of our beloved patrons, was kind enough to provide voiceover, allowing us to deliver a top-notch video whilst under government lockdown. And before we knew it, it was December, and time for the annual Blackest Friday competition, sponsored by King Amongst Men, Vase Odin of the Twisted Tentacle YouTube channel. So thank goodness we didn't have to do an emergency unboxing of the Boy Crazy CCG. The Chronicle version of Blackest Friday always sees us getting you to do something creative, and this time we asked for fan art of our beloved Lita Chandler, and you certainly didn't disappoint. We definitely couldn't pick a single winner, as all of these were super amazing. So Vase allowed us to split up the prizes, so we could have 3 winners. And not only that, when no one wanted the novella, he generously swapped in another starter deck instead, and paid all the postage himself. It occurred to us that Blackest Friday being an annual event and here to stay like Arkham Knights, we should probably have one of our tutorial videos explain it. And as this didn't require us to leave the house, it was a no-brainer. If we weren't able to get together and film new content, then rather than just put our feet up and watch season 2 of The Mandalorian, we would try and remaster some of our older material, like our last minute Christmas guide from 2 years ago that definitely needed a makeover. So we did! And speaking of makeovers, we also revamped our Arkham Horror board game buyer's guide, as 2 expansions had arrived since then. You might think this is a simple process of cutting and pasting, but sadly Microsoft no longer supports the codec we use to record all our old footage. So going back to edit things, they just look like a grey mess and we have to manually convert each file individually. Sadly, this didn't make it into 2020. We began this back in September, and despite busting our chops over the festive holiday, couldn't get something we were happy with in time. So we are going to shoot some new footage, even though this video comprises more than 275 separate shots and runs for almost 12 minutes. Despite our technological ignorance, we want our videos to be good, not just good enough. Fingers crossed you will see it in the new year. Unfortunately, just like you, we were dealing with the unhappy events of the real world, such as people getting sick, losing their jobs, not being allowed to meet up or go outside, and so on. During this time, there has been unprecedented demand for FFG product, meaning there hasn't been any stock for review copies, so we've had to purchase everything ourselves, often at inflated prices or from overseas. So we are truly grateful to our patrons that help us do this. As you know, 2020 was going to be a big year for the channel, with us designing our own game and hosting our own public event, as well as filming an entire series on game design to document these 2 processes. If you are a patron, then you will see these initial episodes over on the website. They will eventually go public like all our content, but we aren't sure when. And it's worth mentioning that our patrons generally get to see our videos early and sometimes as work in progress. And we love their feedback so we can make them better. Our starter deck video is available there right now. This year we also upgraded the mobile phone we used to shoot our videos on, only because the previous one broke. Unfortunately, the camera is worse, with the white balance giving some horribly coloured photos which take a lot of work to improve. This quarter saw our 4th anniversary, which we had hoped to make a special commemorative video for, or at least remaster our cheese shop sketch. But like the best laid plans of mice, this never happened. We also received our first bit of religious spam. It was great to read how we were all going to hell for our choice of leisure activity and how we should repent before it was too late. We sent Lita round to their address and funnily enough never heard from them again. Christmas means it was also time to send out our exclusive Patreon tokens, designed for the 2nd year running by the chaps that buy the same token. These are glow-in-the-dark versions of their Doom tokens, which are all unique to us. Lita had a great time stuffing envelopes and hardly singed any at all. Another thing we planned was to start running through the legendary Fighting Fantasy solo game books, as this was something that could easily be done by one person even under the strictest quarantine. This was going to be our new game, which we added to the channel in 2021. But unbeknownst to us, those finely coiffured gentlemen of a certain podcast fame did one on a Twitch stream, and so we were wary of doing anything that looked like we were copying other people. So we put this on hold for the minute. Things are really tough right now, and we haven't been able to get together to have our first game of Time Stories or Gen 7, let alone Arkham titles such as the new Underdark Waves. And don't get us started on our dream of an 8-player game of Arkham Horror, which now will probably never happen. And people have started sending us role-playing games, which, unless you are quarantined with your gaming group, is really hard to evaluate in person. But as most of these are horror or supernatural themed, they definitely wouldn't look out of place on this channel. We don't want to make any plans or predictions right now as things are so uncertain. The situation may get worse before it gets better. But if you have any ideas or thoughts or feedback for us, please do share them in the comments below. The Arkham Chronicle is an anonymous collection of friends, volunteers and helpers with plenty of guests that show up for a single episode. But its crew has steadily been shrinking and pretty soon it will only be Lita and her massive ego. In the last recap we told you one of our founder members was away on an Arctic expedition and you probably thought we were joking. That's right, from humble beginnings, failing to toss resource tokens into shot in a setup video to flying drones on scientific survey ships, he is making a big splash. Our most professional looking videos, as well as the channel's creation and longevity, are definitely down to this guy. You will be missed.
You should have seen what I did to his house while he was away. Splitter!
Thank you so much for staying till the end of the video. It really means a lot. And to show our appreciation, we are having another competition, which we'll probably put in a separate video as this has been taking far too long as it is.